H to stay on the table. You need the Glen to be there. And when Glen leaves the table, you have to protect it with Prodigy counters. I mean, it's not an unbeatable. It's not an unbeatable thing. That was sweeter than the ending to Deadpool. Nice mix-in. This has been a pleasure building this deck with you guys, though. I don't think it would have ever been as awesome without you guys supplying. I mean, you guys have helped me, you know, afford some of these really expensive pieces to this deck, and for that I thank you. Also, shout out to Card Hoarder for letting me borrow the other components that we just couldn't afford. And thanks to you guys sticking around to watch it and or help me brew it. So if you want to see us beating Eldrazi in another match, though, you may have just joined the channel, friend. Let me show you us taking them down in a different match, then. I understand if you're skeptical. It's fine to be skeptical. There's plenty of, you know, people out there trying to build decks that have a good matchup against Eldrazi, but we've been crushing it with this list. There are a lot of pros that swear by Blood Moon. Marsh Malvolsky, science rules. There's been a lot of, you know, press out there and people trying to beat Eldrazi, but I think we may have found something. We've been working on this for about 2 weeks now, right? Oh, of course, Spy. Anyone have the link? I think, unfortunately, though, what we're realizing is, isn't the Eldrazi decks technically still cheaper than building this deck? I think that's the problem. So he thought not Seer's, in my opinion, the wrong card here. He takes the Magus of the Moon. But it's actually the bridge that becomes his undoing. You'll see in a minute here. Desperately trying to draw another card, so we Silvergill again. It's deckless, guys. No, use the one that I linked, color red. Mine's the most recent, I think. Oh no, they're the same, never mind. You're a Wizard Teferi? That's the wrong name, though. But yes, this is the latest version. You guys are welcome to borrow my decks, and when you do, please tell people where you found it. We built this here. I don't obviously take full credit for the deck because we brewed it together as a team. It was a collaborative effort. But, you know, give credit where credit is due. I'm probably not the only person to be sad if you borrow the deck and, you know, place in a tournament and then don't give credit to the deck builders. Because there are other people in this channel, besides myself, that put in a lot of work into this deck. So if you do borrow the deck and do well with it, please, well, even if you don't do well, tell people where you found it. Tell them you found it here on the BrewSpy channel. Seriously. Wizards is cool and all, but Robopod. Mana bases super expensive. Blue Moon mana bases are expensive. How's the Mastermind been? Curry Bear, we've cut it and we've added it back in. We've cut it and we've added it. We've thought about Willbender in that spot. We've thought about Fantastic Image in that spot. I miss the Fantastic Image. I think it's the only card that I would maybe switch the Mastermind for is the Fantastic Image. Because in a way, a Viled-in Image can do some similar shenanigans that the Mastermind can. Sorry, it's Phantasmal. I just call it the Fantastic. Phantasmal. But, yeah, I mean, Phantasmal Image might be a thing. Again, in the deck. Anyway, back to the match. So we've bridged this guy, right? And we've got the Mastermind on the table, and we got the Harbinger and the Blood Moon Lock, and he's, like, still casting spells, and that's fine. Go for it, man. Severed says I like running the image there instead. The Mastermind's so sweet, though. Mr. Fantastic. Fantastic Image is the better name. I think so too, Irish. Oh, if we built a deck with 4 of them, Fantastic Four. And we're just drawing cards, and now we have this engine. Now, hang on a second, let me pause. In fairness, Phantasmal Image could not do what we were about to do here. This Mastermind is about to draw us all the way to 17 cards left in the deck. We're at 28 right now, watch. We Mastermind the Silvergill. We replay the Silvergill. We Mastermind the Silvergill during his end step, and do it again. And do it again. And let's do it again! Let's do it again! Let's do it! Like, Mastermind is just so awesome when we lock out with Bridge. Whereas Image can't do this. So I actually prefer the Mastermind with the double bridge build. Still looking for a deck for Detroit, says Dark Drew. Why don't you play this? Want to know a real Fantastic Image seeing concede from the opposing Eldrazi player? Yeah, he concedes in a bit here. You'll see. That's a fine mimic, sure. And what do these do? Well, these are just big creatures. That's cool. Now, if you're wondering, well, wait, you're a creature deck too, aren't you, Sean? Wizards isn't, like, we are, yes, but honestly, we're more about combo locking people. And now we found, you know, the first piece to the combo lock. We actually, Venser, one of the, I think we tried to get him to recast the Endless One for a whole lot of mana. He doesn't fall for it. He just makes it a 6/6. So we end up stealing the Sower with Sower of Temptation, sacrifice it to the Profaner of the Dead, and bounce his whole board nearly. As someone who loves cards, I greatly approve of this. This game was super sweet, Irish. This is a lot of fun tonight with you guys. So here's the tutor. This is actually what ties the whole deck together. If you're wondering what the glue of the deck is, it's not just Aether Vial. The glue that is this deck, actually, I think the card that actually makes the deck work, I'm not kidding, it's not Master of Waves. It's not even necessarily Vial. I think what's almost just as important as the Vials is the Aether Mages. The Vidalcan Wizard that lets us Wizard Cycle for whatever it is that we need in the current situation we're facing. It's one of the most awesome tutors I've ever used in Modern outside of Glittering Wish. I've been very impressed with it. On paper, it looks adorable, but once you see what we can do with it in the deck, it's amazing. So we sowered the Sower. Hang on. So what did we do with this Aether Mage? Let me pause it for a second. What did we do with this Wizard Cycling? Well, we got a Sower. Sower Temptation is, you know, enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature. So we grabbed his Oblivion Sower, and now we're going to cast the Profaner of the Dead. Or after this stage. Hang on. We do it next turn. Oh, we vial this in, actually. And he's just casting more dudes, and that's fine. Like, the Eldrazi deck's actually very binary. It's very, very binary. He Thought Not Seers in response. I counter with the Void Mage Prodigy, because we've got the lock now. The only lock piece I'm missing is just the Glenalandra Archmage. We've got Prodigies. So we slam the... No, Master first. We Master first. Because we're trying to build up a board presence. Now it looks all EDH-y, I'm sorry, but like the whole board gets huge. We have like 1 million elementals. By a million, I mean 13, which is still a lot of elementals. And he plays a Mimic, that's great. Now we vial in Profaner. We exploit the Sower. It bounces nearly his entire board, and we kill him. Yeah, instant speed tutoring. It's actually really powerful with the Aether Vial. I think without Vial... Hang on a second. Okay, let me rephrase. This card would not work without things like this in the deck. Now, we've still won games with Aether Mage without Vial. Aether Mage, but like they go to... Like, they actually have the same name in them, right? Aether Vial, Aether Mage. Like, they're made for one another. They're built for each other. Cycling both specific and generic is one of your favorite mechanics. It will soon be tempted. So, and you're like, okay, well, did you beat him next game? Like, yes, we played him again. We beat the Eldrazi player again. Watch. It's not a mystery. It's not, we're not trying to keep this deck all to ourselves. If you want to play it, if you want something else out of Modern right now, play this. I wouldn't even call it a Blue Moon variant anymore. I wouldn't call it a variant of Merfolk either. It's its own thing now. This Wizards deck is definitely its own thing. FC Disa! Science rules. Disa, Dessa, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the show. And this hand looks terrible, right? How is this supposed to beat Eldrazi? It's a 2-lander. Well, we drew a 3rd land. And he plays a 2/2. Science rules. Spy, thanks for finally hitting that follow button. You've been with us for a little bit. I'm glad you finally decided to hit the follow, man. Welcome to the show. How about a bridge version that wins with Lab Maniac? Probably not. Our power toughness is still low enough to be... Yes, it is. Our power toughness is low enough to abuse the bridge. And what's great about our Anthem effects, like the Sage, you're like, well, doesn't Sage make your creatures too big to abuse bridge? No. Sage also has a second clause. Her second ability is pay 2 mana, remove a 1/1 counter from a creature. So actually, if we need to shrink our creatures back down to still be able to swing with them, we can do that. El Huida! Science rules. And it looks like we're going to lose this match, right? He's like smashing, we have to like trade a bunch of our creatures, and that sucks, right? We take out the Smasher, he's on 1 card. And we just grind this guy out. We grind him into dust. I think. We did something. No, I make a mistake this game. Galush. Science rules. I was supposed to Vents through the Ratchet Bomb and then Glen Alondra Archmage on the way back down. But I think I forget. But we still win the match. But it was a mistake. I either like... I have some hotkeys on my keyboard that I use when I don't actually use the mouse for passing priority on Magic Online. So I think my finger slipped or something stupid. It happens. And he does get to re-resolve Bomb, but we still manage to take the match. So that's credence to the deck. If it can still win, even if we're making mistakes. Even if a deck is powerful enough that it can still win through one play mistake, that's huge. That's huge. Because it was a huge play mistake. You'll see it in a second here. This game was a little weird. Well, he actually had 61 cards, Irish. I don't think he knew how to sideboard against us, which is another advantage. A huge advantage for the deck, actually. Okay, so we've established the lock, right? We've got at least the negation lock. We've got Glen Alondra plus Sage of Fable. So we can counter, as long as we have blue mana, we can counter, but I can't counter the Thought Knot. He does take the second master, and we're like, crap, are we going to lose now? And that's where I misclick, right there. Wait. Right there, I don't get the Glen negation off on the Ratchet Bomb, and it almost screws the game, so watch closely as we try to repair this, as I try to repair this mistake. So now we have the Prodigy. Now we've got the full combo. We can counter anything now. And he doesn't have Cavern of Souls. That's huge. I haven't watched you when you respawn. Realized I hadn't followed on BrewSpy. Well, Spy, welcome back to the show, man. Yeah, that's a welcome back, then. I thought I recognized your name, Spy. Jeez. Good to see you again, then. Well, you've been with us as I was BrewSpy, so it was like you never left. It was like you never left. And Glen gets really favorable blocks thanks to the synergy. Do you guys see what's going on here? The synergy between Sage and Glen is, I think, one of the strongest things in the deck. Yet we really are only running 2 ofs each, and maybe that's wrong. Maybe we should go back to a 3-2 split or a 3-3 split of Sages and Glens, Glen Alondra Archmages. It is one of the strong, like it's the blanket effect. You know, between Void Mage and Sage Glen combo. Those are the things that our deck pinpoints and affects every single match. It has to. You know, in some way, shape, or form, at least that 2 to 3 card creature combo that our deck has does affect every match that you will ever play in Modern. Unless they get underneath you or they have something that's uncounterable. Outside of those 2 instances, it should affect every match of Modern at least somewhat. And you see here, we're just countering everything he does. I actually mean to sacrifice the Glen here, but I think I accidentally sacked Profaner? Yeah, but that's okay. I don't know, I hope you guys realize that we put a lot of work into this deck, and it's been a pleasure playing it with you guys. We do finally moon him here. Let me counter this. Glen comes back without the -1/-1 counter. What would be our worst matchup now? I don't know if it's Burn anymore with Sun Droplets. It's actually a particular variant of Eldrazi. It's the Tron Eldrazi hybrid. And then we sower his sower and kill him. He concedes. That's our worst matchup, Treebeard. And that's where the bridges are coming in. I'm trying. I think the hardest card for us out of their deck is Worldbreaker. I think it might be one word. No. So Worldbreaker is what breaks the matchup, unfortunately. And we're trying to figure out some stuff to get around it. Mastermind kind of does. Will Bender does. I'm not even kidding. Will Bender works here. Will Bender's a way to get around that card in the main deck, and it's not horrendous to main deck. It's actually not. So Masterminds or Will Benders can get around that particular card. Because if they remove the bridge of the moon, we're in trouble. We did another 4-1, so overall, Caustic, we're 18... Hang on. Science loot. Persica. Phobiac, thanks for the follow, Reno man. Welcome to the show. Yeah, so we've had 3 4-1s and then 1 2 3. So what was that? That's 12. No, we're 16 and Pentominix! Science rules. I'm sure